All right, stimulus update, checks delayed and some myths exposed. Your stimulus might be delayed after all. It's time for your stimulus update for Wednesday, April 15th, which would be tax day under normal circumstances. Hey everyone, I'm Clayton Morris, longtime investor, and on this channel we help you build wealth. We've helped thousands of people do that, and we have over 400 videos right here on our channel that help you actually make money. So go ahead and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber and learn from us. Now, we had hundreds of comments and questions from you on our last video on the stimulus. I'm going to address a few of them here in a moment, plus a bunch of myths out there right now around the stimulus. But first, it's stimulus update time. And one of the most ridiculous things that I've heard in a long time, you're not going to believe this. Do you want to know why your stimulus check might be later than it was already going to be? This is amazing. According to the Washington Post, late Monday evening, the U.S. Treasury Department ordered the IRS to print President Donald Trump's name on the stimulus checks that it's sending to millions of Americans. Yes, they want his name there. Now, because of this ridiculous order that we need Trump's signature on the check, seriously, folks, this is like propaganda level. So when you get the check, you're going to see Trump's signature and you're going to somehow feel like it's his money or something being sent to you. Like, oh, Mr. Trump sent this to me, honey, look. Now, because he wanted his signature on there, or maybe the Treasury Department wanted it, it was an order and they had to delay it. First, I think this is total crap. If any American is dumb enough to look at that signature and think, oh, this came from the president, it didn't. We all know where this money came from. Now, according to the Washington Post, the Treasury Department's order could cause the checks to be delayed by several days or longer. Now, this is unprecedented, and it marks the first time in history that a president's name has ever appeared on an IRS disbursement check. Never happened before. Usually, presidents' names don't appear on checks issued by the Treasury Department in order to keep such payments nonpartisan. Exactly. Remember Congress going back and forth nitpicking over this thing? And they came up with the plan. The president signed the bill. And now he wants his name on the check. Look, I don't want to get any more political here than we need to, but this is insane. People are waiting on these checks. I saw all of your comments. People are saying, look, I'm going to not be able to afford to pay for this or that if I don't get this check. So his name is now going to appear on the memo line on the left side of the stimulus check. Administration officials who spoke quietly about this anonymously because they weren't authorized to publicly discuss the matter said that Trump had originally asked Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin to allow him to formally sign the checks himself, but the president isn't legally authorized to do so, so it'll appear in the memo section of the check. Remember, these are the paper checks, folks. So the good news, though, is as of right now, 70 million Americans could already have their stimulus check electronically deposited in your account at this hour. Also, if you're wondering when yours will arrive, you won't need to play the guessing game because the IRS announced that it'll offer website. It's known as the Get My Payment tool. And the IRS will let Americans visit this online-based portal to monitor the status of their stimulus check and when it should arrive. That will be available on Friday. So two different tools here, folks. I'll explain in a second. So if you didn't have your bank info on file with the IRS, there's good news because the IRS is launching that tool today, Wednesday, where people can go and they can upload their account details so you can get that direct deposit very fast. Now that tool is different than the tracking tool called Get My Payment, which is a tracker. That's out on Friday. I know this is confusing, folks, but it's the government, so this is how it works. So the deposit tool is out today. The tracking tool is out on Friday. Got it? So I hope you understand what I just said here. If you don't have your direct deposit info on file with the IRS, you'll be able to use this new tool this morning, okay? And you'll be able to upload your direct deposit information so you can get that check faster. Go there and do that if you don't. All right, there are a bunch of people that will not be getting stimulus checks, and I want to go over that now because people have been asking, am I eligible? Anyone claimed by someone as a dependent, that's any person listed as a dependent on someone else's taxes, is not eligible for their own stimulus check. Now, this includes both children and disabled or elderly adults whose own children may be claiming them as dependents. So while the CARES Act allows parents to collect $500 for each child, that only applies to children 16 years old or younger. That means dependents who are 17 or older do not qualify for this, even if they're still in school. And if they do not file their own taxes, they cannot get their own check. Okay, very important. The next group that's left out, certain immigrants. The CARES Act notes that non-resident aliens are not eligible for these checks. Those with green cards as well as H-1B or H-2A work visas can collect stimulus checks. Others, such as temporary workers or, of course, illegal immigrants, are not eligible for these checks, regardless of whether or not they pay taxes. Also left out, higher income individuals. That's no shock. The stimulus checks are based on the amounts of $1,200 for individuals and $2,400 for joint filers. But they decrease for those who would have adjusted gross income surpassing certain thresholds. So for individual filers, that mark is $75,000. For joint filers, it's $150,000. And for those filing as heads of household, it's $112,000. So in those cases, the amount decreases by $5 for every $100 in income above those marks, with it being reduced to zero for individuals who make $99,000 or more, and couples who make $198,000 or more, and for heads of household, which the extent their payment decreases depends on how many children they have. So if you're higher income, you're not getting it. The Treasury Department said that tens of millions of people will get their payments via direct deposit by today. Many of you have already emailed and said, yes, you've gotten your checks. That's good news. I've seen the comments here on our YouTube videos that said, I just got mine, I just checked, it just came in. Now, they say also online payments will flow through the end of April. But you need to use that tool at their website to put your direct deposit information. One big question some of you had was around dependents. And yes, if you just had a child, you'll receive an additional $500 per child. It doesn't matter that you might not have filed last year. Here's another one. Will you have to pay back the stimulus check? Now, I've got 6 stimulus myths that I want to go over right now, so pay attention to these myths. Many of you asked these questions. Myth number 1, the stimulus checks are taxed. The stimulus checks are not taxable income. So the checks, which are worth $1,200 for individuals earning up to $75,000 and $2,400 for couples earning up to $150,000, plus $500 for dependents under 17, those are structured as refundable tax credits. That is why even people who do not typically file tax returns qualify for these payments. Myth number 2, I will have to pay back the stimulus check next tax season. Now, assuming that all of your information on your tax return is correct, you will not be repaying the check next spring, okay? You may even receive more money when you file your 2020 taxes. So while the checks are based off of your 2019 or 2018 tax returns to get your money now, they're technically credits for 2020 taxes. So if it turns out that you should receive a larger credit based on 2020, your adjusted gross income, then you'll actually receive the difference next year. It's important, if a taxpayer's income drops in 2020, many people out of work, you're gonna be eligible for any remaining rebate credit that you were not able to get on your 2019 or 2018 return. So it could look better for you next year. On the other hand, you're not gonna be penalized by the IRS if your 2020 adjusted gross income is higher this year. That's very important. So you're not going to be penalized either way, but you may actually get more money back, okay? But you won't have to pay any of this back. Myth number 3, it will take months to receive my check. This is actually true. As I mentioned earlier, the paper checks could take months to receive. Now, if the IRS has your direct deposit banking information, then you should receive your payment in the next few weeks, according to that agency. Myth number 4, I can't sign up for the stimulus checks. There is nothing most people need to do to receive a check. If you filed your tax return in 2018 or 2019 and the IRS has your banking info already, then you will receive a payment automatically. The only people who might need to do something to receive this payment are the low-income Americans who might not typically file a return, and those who want to provide the IRS with their bank account information. Again, you can do that today on their website, so you can get a faster direct deposit, as opposed to waiting for a mailed check, which could take up to months, even through September. So that online portal to update your bank account information is available today on the IRS website. Go check that out. Myth number 5, Social Security and other benefits recipients aren't eligible. No, that's not true. With a few exceptions, as long as you have a Social Security number and you meet the income eligibility requirements, you will receive a check. And even better, they're gonna deposit it right through your normal Social Security method that you get your Social Security check. Myth number 6, I've not filed my 2019 taxes yet, so I won't get a check. Everyone who is eligible to receive a check will. So if you haven't filed 2019 yet, then the IRS will use your 2018 return to estimate your credit. Again, if you haven't filed in a while, go to the website today, go to irs.gov, put in your information. And just remember, just as a sidebar here to wrap things up, scams out there, The IRS will not call you. They will not text you. They will not do any of those things. The IRS does not get on the phone, does not use the phone. So please share this video with someone in your family who might be vulnerable, an elderly person who needs to see this. And please just share this on Facebook, share it out to help other people who have a lot of questions about this stimulus right now. And like I said, if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. You might learn something here on how to build wealth. We'll see you next time, everyone.